whatever I have achieved in life, engineering gave me a platform, but the real jump came from my higher education.
Sir, in your opinion, what's life and how should we take it?
You did your 10th from ML Academy, Darbhanga, that's Bihar board.
How to become IITN?
First of all, you need to be a good student. Okay. Then, on top of it, you have to be a good person. Okay. Hard working, sincere, not shy of put in very hard effort. And then third is whether you be an IITN or not be an IITN should not be worrying you at this stage. You have to do your best whether you get into IIT or some other competitive place.
Hello everyone, it's gonna be great session today because we invite somebody very special. He is a CEO, an NRI, an MBA from FMS Delhi University and B from BIT Sindri. He started his journey from Airtel, there in corporate house as a general manager, but taking care of Bihar Jharkhand as a head of Bihar Jharkhand, and currently he is the CEO of Sterlite Power. That's the subsidiary company of Vedanta led by Mr. Anil Agrawal. He is Mr. Amitabh Prasad. And very fast, we welcome you, sir, on behalf of my career doctor. And we want you to please focus some lights on your journey, because when I was talking to you today in the morning, I came to know that you did your 10th from ML Academy, Darbhanga, that's Bihar board. And from there, the journey to become the CEO of Sterlite Power. I want you to please share the journey, your academic, backgrounds and all.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really my pleasure to be with you today. I'm very enthused to see the variety of people in this room, a small little girl to people who are much senior to her, and it's my privilege to speak to you and share my journey, as Prakash was saying. So I'm born and brought up in this town, in fact in the same place. This is where my residence is. This is my fifth generation in the same campus. And I did my schooling from Lahariya Sarai and Darbhanga. My 10th I passed out in 1985. Many of you, in fact all of you, were not even born in that time. So that was 85 Bihar Board Hindi medium. And I feel that my foundation was made in that Hindi medium in a very solid way, very solid way. The level of teaching, the details to which teachers would go to explain the concepts, the rigor in the homework and the class test, terminal test, board exams and all that was, I believe it needed a lot more enthusiasm and hard work to first understand the subject and then to be able to appear in the exam and deliver what you have learned in a way that you will get a nice decent score. The medium of teaching was Hindi, the textbooks were in Hindi, but at the same time half of the conversation with teachers were Hindi and English mila hua, and sometimes it was not easy, especially when we were referring to Bal Bharati or some other publications to widen our knowledge. Those were not in Hindi, and then to translate and then understand, then solve the problem, it used to be challenge. But I think in this land, in this part of India, struggle is the only way of life to survive and move up, compared to many other parts of India where things are in a much better shape, things are much more organized. But then the struggle also has one inherent benefit, that it makes you a fighter from very early stages in your life. You do not believe that things will come to you easily, and therefore you start applying your hard work much more than what your counterparts in metro cities would do, because for you things are not easy. You have to not only have it, but sometimes you have to snatch it, and sometimes you have to do 3 times more work to be at par with your counterparts in the developed part of India. And that will build a character in each one of you, which you can persevere even in the higher studies and later on in your life, where you develop yourself as a responsible citizen of India, eventually a family person, eventually a father or a mother or a brother or a sister. You will, on your own, you will try to put much more hard work to achieve something, and that will always pay the dividend. You may feel a bit uncomfortable, sometimes you may feel, oh no, things are not easy for me, I have to do a lot of work to achieve what I have, what others are not doing this much to achieve, but eventually you will see the dividends of it, because hard work never fails. And that's my belief in that, and I 100% believe that whatever hard work you put in, if not today then tomorrow you will have the dividend out of it. There is absolutely no two ways about it. Further on my education, I did intermediate of science, which is equivalent to +2. Those days it was ISC from CM Science College here in Darbhanga only, in maths stream. And in the same year, 1987, I was selected for 2 or 3 colleges on competition basis. I joined first Indian School of Mines, ISM Dhanbad, which is now IIT Dhanbad. But then my parents thought it will be a very tough life in mines area. And then when the other college results came, I shifted to BIT Sindri, Electronics and Communication Engineering, ECE. And I passed out in 1991. Unfortunately, the session was delayed due to some social movement during that time. When you read history, you will see there was a social movement called Mandal Commission agitation and all that, and session was late. Nevertheless, we worked very hard and we secured a job. I first got a job in NTPC, which is a government PSU. But then when I got an opportunity to join a private sector job in Modi Xerox that time, I thought I will be able to perform much better and deliver much better than what I could do in PSU. What was in my mind, I will tell you very openly. Now after many years, it becomes very easy to share this. When I was moving to PSU, I saw at least 1500 to 2000 engineers in the same campus. And when I was interviewed for Xerox, I was only 4th or 5th engineer. So I thought maybe I have a better chance to be more visible and better chance to make a direct contribution to the company. Compared to, I should not get lost in a sea of 1500 engineers, but maybe in a bunch of 4, I'll have a better chance. But then it takes a lot of courage, and I don't know where from I had the courage at that time when I was 22, 23-year-old, that it was very easy to continue in a bunch of 1,000. You are flowing with the flow. You do not get noticed very easily. But when you are in bunch of just 4 people, whether you are performing, not performing, it will be very visible to your seniors in no time. So you had to have that confidence that if I am choosing that path where I want to be visible, I want to be seen as somebody who is a high performer, I must put in that extra effort and then only make that choice. Otherwise, things may not be as easy as it might appear to you to start with. Xerox, and then I moved into, I had a very inherent desire to work in telecom sector because that's what my engineering subject was, and then electronics and something. And when the Indian telecom industry was opened in 1995, there were plenty of jobs in private as well. I joined Bharti Airtel. I had a wonderful time. I learnt a lot. It was like within 10, 12, 15 hours a day because it was very early in the industry. Lot of people did not know how telecom networks are made, and we were talking about some futuristic telecom networks on wireline, wireless, optical fiber, and so on and so forth. But it was huge learning. We worked very hard. When I say we, it was not just me, but the whole bunch of people who were the first batchers into private telecom. And we had lot to do, kept working hard. Side by side, I applied for my FMS MBA course from Delhi University, FMS. I qualified. Then I was doing 3 years course in MBA. I had a very busy office life, professional. 3 years. 3 years. Every day on campus, 6 to 9 p.m., 5 days a week for 3 years. It was very, very tough, very tough. After a whole day of working, traveling 30 kilometers from one side of the city to Delhi University on the North Campus. Yeah.
Seats are very limited. There are 60 seats there on.
Yeah, very limited. I believe in my batch there were around, eventually there were even 45 to 50 students. Half of the people drop out after first semester because to balance professional life with the family and then education, then every day is not easy. But some of us could manage, and I think that was only because there was a huge fighting spirit from the very early stages in life that I got in this place in Bihar, in my hometown, that you have to work super hard to make a difference. That was in my mind. And out of a batch of about 120 people joined the course, eventually only 45 people continued and passed out. So I believe the higher education in your, I do not know what is your ambition, but I can only tell you that whenever there is an opportunity or whenever there is a desire to do higher education, please work hard to achieve higher education. Because I believe up to a level which is graduate level, you are still in your basics. You are building a platform which is still not that evolved. It will give you lot of new ideas. It will give you lot of knowledge. But after graduation, when you see the further education, it will really open up your mind. And for each one of us in this room to be successful professional or a father or a mother or a family man or whosoever, having an open mind is perhaps more important than the knowledge and the skill that you acquire. Because if your mind is not open, you will not absorb. There is so much to learn. For example, if I am just an engineer and I believe that I know how to do business, it will be very foolish of me to even imagine that. Because what I learnt in MBA was very different than what I learnt in engineering. Very different. And if I have to say this, I will say this with a lot of confidence that whatever I have achieved in life, engineering gave me a platform, but the real jump came from my higher education, which was MBA and beyond. That was masters. Yeah.
Can I please? Sir knows 5 languages. First is Maithili, his mother tongue, right, sir? Then Hindi, of course, mother tongue or our official language of our country. Third, sir knows Bengali, yes, sir. Fourth, sir knows English, which you know very well. And fifth, sir knows Portuguese, right, sir? So Portuguese, correct? That's good. Because students are here, they want to develop their English communication skills. Here, I want to tell you, I mean, we just want to know on behalf of the students, I'm asking you, yes guys, you want to learn English, you know Mathili already, or maybe you know Maghi or other languages. Sir, I want you to please put some lights on this, that how did you transform yourself? That's the real question. And what was in your mind when you were in Darbhanga? Were you expecting that one day you will get such a huge success, what you are today? Or it was all, it happened step, as we know it happened step by step, but when you were in 10th, because she's in ninth, right? 7th, 5th, 5th, 7th, the junior most student is from 5th. So what was in your, but they understand everything what you are saying, sir. So what was in your mind that time about higher studies, about success, about foreign countries? Right now you live in Brazil. So please put some lights on this, sir.
So this is very interesting question, that did I prepare myself to be a global citizen when I was young, or how did I move from language A to language B to language C? I have a story to say here. When I was in class 8 or 9, I had a chance to read one novel in my house. My grandfather and father had a huge selection of English novels. But when I was reading that novel, it was a spy novel. It was a Jasusi English novel. And the writer was Earl Stanley Gardner. He wrote fiction spy novels of Perry Mason and Dela Street. Those were the characters. Very famous. If you search on net, you will find out.
I'll try to read that, sir.
Yeah, please. It's not one novel, it's at least 50 such. And my grandfather was a huge fan of that writer. So we had a selection of about all of them in our house. So it's still there. We have preserved it. And maybe in 8 or 9 I read one, and I could finish in one night. And then I read 2, then I read 3, and then I was taught by my grandfather that what is happening? Are you reading my novels? I said no, I was just seeing that how it is written. Then he did not say anything. My grandfather was a doctor himself and a very renowned tuberculosis TB specialist in this area. Very high on discipline. I think he could train an army man how to be disciplined in life. And he did not.
Your father and mother, but please tell the name of your grandfather.
Dr. Maya Shankar Prasad.
Dr. Maya Shankar Prasad.
Yeah. So he was he graduated in MBBS in 1929 or 1930, that time. Pre-independence, yeah. So I was taught by him that I am reading his novel because he had a certain order to put books in his shelf, and maybe I had disturbed that order. So he realized that something is happening, somebody is touching my novels. So he asked me and I said, "Nahi, I was just thoda sa trying to see what is it that you have so many of them." So he did not feel bad, neither I got any scolding. So I thought in my own mind, a child's mind, young people like you, that he knows I am reading his novels. He knows that he has not told me to read and I have lot of study to do, but he is not scolding me. So in a way he is approving that I can read his novels. That was in my mind, and then I didn't stop. I read all 50 of them in about 2 months' time. Then
And which standard you were in that?
about ninth.
Ninth.
Between 9th and 10th, I would have read about 100 novels of him and my father, all in English, in my library.
So what would you suggest these students to read?
So, and I will just tell you, then I realized that the novels which I am reading are very nicely and written in a very easy language. Then a couple of novels I read were from Agatha Christie, another writer. It was very tough English. It was very tough. I went to my English teacher with few of the words from that novel which I did not even find in dictionary. And he scolded me that what are you reading? Where are you getting these words? Why are you asking me? Are you testing me? That way.
Ask me tomorrow.
Yeah. So and then I said, पता नहीं boss इतना डांट क्यों पड़ रहा है? मैं तो I'm just trying to learn and understand. So I believe that my ability to develop conversational English, that was the foundation. Because I was reading a novel which was based on conversation, which was written by storytellers who were very, very famous, and people from 15 years to 80 years were the audience who were reading those around the world. So I thought somehow it made the foundation. And then I had a chance to visit US when I was very young, 16, 17 or 18, with my parents. And there my hesitation to not speak English just went away because I had no option. I was hesitating. I was learning, my grammar was good, my textbook was nice, I was reading the novels, I could frame sentences in my mind, but I did not know how to deliver without hesitation. Because in family we speak Hindi. With friends I speak Mathili. With the other people I speak the local language. So there was no opportunity for me to practice my English. But when I had this opportunity in US, after maybe 3, 4, 5 days, the hesitation, when I started, I was stammering. I would start, but then I'll forget some words in between. Then next day, perhaps I will again start, forget 1 or 2 words, but finish the sentence. Third day, I would say the sentence, but not in a flow. Fourth day, I will say it in a flow. Fifth day, I will try to say it in a very natural way. In that step, when I say first, second, third, fourth day, it was not really, but this is the step. You hesitate, then you falter, then you again hesitate, then falter, but falter less and less and less till the time it starts coming to you naturally. One more thing happened was, whenever I had to speak in English, I first used to say it in Hindi in my mind, then do the translation and then try to speak that translation to the people. जैसे पहले दिमाग में सेंटेंस बना लिया हिंदी में, फिर ट्रांसलेशन बनाया, फिर बोलने ट्राई हुआ. But this was not a very successful idea. By the time I am doing translation and trying to say, I would lose the flow, or the conversation will move ahead and I will be left behind. But मेरे हिसाब से सब लोग वहीं से चालू करते हैं. मदर टंग का वही होता है जो आप सब फर्स्ट. या सो सब जो नॉन नेटिव हैं, जो हिंदी हमारी मदर टंग है, इंग्लिश नॉन नेटिव है, जब हम चालू होते हैं तो सबसे पहले, जैसे मैं पोर्टुगीज सीख रहा हूँ अभी पिछले 3 साल में, तो वहाँ पे भी यही था. पहले इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट किया, फिर ट्राई किया फॉर ईच ऑफ द इंग्लिश वर्ड व्हाट इज द पोर्टुगीज वर्ड, एंड देन आई स्टार्टेड सेइंग. देन my best teacher were taxi drivers. I will sit in the taxi, I will start a conversation. I will start from, "Qual é seu nome, amor?" What's your name, dear? And then he will start speaking, and then I will pick up 1 or 2 words. Then I know what he is trying to say. Then I will try to respond, and then he would say. And Brazil is a very, very friendly country, and if you try to speak in their language, they become very nice to you. Suddenly they will say, "Oh, falando muito bem." you're speaking very well, then that will encourage you. Then you try something more. Then you become more audacious, more audacious, more audacious, and then you. And then one more trick I used was I started watching news in Portuguese.
Last time you said
Yeah.
you were sitting there, sir.
Yeah. I started watching news channel, CNN, let's say, the business channel, in Portuguese. And I would not switch on to the English subtitle. I'm just trying to understand from what's happening. And it was not easy because Portuguese is a very voluminous language. But then that is how you learn. So did I know what I will do when I was in 9th or 10th? No. Did I prepare myself to learn a language which was more globally accepted? Definitely yes. How did I learn? I learned by reading a lot, then trying to do a conversation, removing the hesitation, feeling bad about making a mistake, and then eventually trying to not think in my mother language but to hear and respond in the same language. That's perhaps is the last stage of this development. This does not come easy. It takes you 5-10 years maybe, but this one. As far as my professional ambition was there, I come from a family of doctors. It was very easy for me to become another doctor and carry the good work that my generations have done. But somehow I always wanted to do mathematics and physics and more of an engineering bent of mind. And I knew that I will be part of a corporate setup. What it will be, no idea. But I wanted to, one thing was in my mind that I have to do a job. I don't know what was that job definition, whether it was public, private or something else. But I wanted to do a job and live on my own as an independent person. That was my ambition. That if I live in Darbhanga here, I will never be independent because my support system is here, my family is here. Not that I had a problem with my family. No, they're a very, very loving family. But always I had this, I don't know what you say, but drive or passion or this urge that I should be in a city fully independent and doing something that I like to do. So this drive to become independent, I believe, is what kept me driving. Till today it drives me. That be independent, do more and more and more. You do at state level, national level, global level, all levels, but do it independently and do it on your merit. So, yeah, please.
How to become IITian?
Thank you very much. He's daring, sir.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. First of all, no, very nice. Your question was how to become a good IITian, right? So, I have a slightly different answer for you. First of all, you need to be a good student, okay? Then, on top of it, you have to be a good person, okay? Hard working, sincere, not shy of putting very hard effort. And then third is whether you be an IITian or not be an IITian should not be worrying you at this stage. You have to do your best whether you get into IIT or some other competitive place. It is also, it's your hard work, but it is also a bit of chance. So you should not punish yourself overly that I have not made it to an IIT. Okay. There are enough and more examples around where people have gone to non-IIT institutes and have done very well. So they are leading companies. If you talk about many industry leaders I meet, they are leading the organization.
This time competitive exams are very high. How to achieve?
So I had a very clear mantra. Even in my time, it was very competitive. Only the ratio is almost the same. Those days, seats were very less, and the number of people attempting was also less. Now seats are more, and the people who are attempting is more. So I believe maybe it is more competitive now. The only thing which really helped me was that I was not trying to solve a problem. I was always trying to go after conceptual clarity. I needed to know the concept, and I needed to know how to handle that question, not by knowing the answer, but through my conceptual clarity. And that really helped me. And that's not easy. That is one thing I tried. Number two I tried was to read from 2 or 3 different books. For example, in physics, there would be H.C. Verma, there would be textbooks, there will be NCRT. I did even Resnith Halliday, and so on. In organics, I did Lewis and Johnson, apart from this and that. So I thought these were not because I wanted to see foreign writers. This was because the conceptual clarity in some of those publications are different than what is taught here in the classroom or in the coaching. So that was how I could crack IIT and even BIT exams.
Sir, how to focus on a study and coming festival, Durga Puja, Diwali, Chhath, and focus how?
Yeah.
That's a little lengthy question.
No, it's a good question. How to? I mean, there are too many diversions. In my time, only these were the diversion. In your time, you have much more diversion. You have to refresh every 30 minutes. Otherwise, the world will fall down. Yeah. If you don't see your WhatsApp for 15 minutes, you feel that I don't know what all has happened in the world, right? If you have not seen the reel today, maybe you have the fear of missing out, what we call FOMO, right? So these are the new realities. I would say that if you keep yourself away from all this for 2 or 3 years, right? Focus hard, read internet, read mobile, but read what is relevant to you as a student, like general affairs, current affairs, economics, GDP related, macro, micro, what's happening in the world, Iran, Israel war, what is the impact on global GDP, those kind of things. It will help you. Information is too much. It is up to you how you use it, in which way you use it, either in form of a reel or in form of a knowledge. It's up to you. But you have to balance. And next 2 3 years, I believe that anything between 9th to 12th, those 3 years are very important. Those 3 years you have to really go after your subject matter, go in detail. I did not take any coaching as such, because those days neither my parents were not ready to send me to Patna or Delhi. So I did some correspondence coaching from Agarwal classes, एक दो unit मंगाया था उससे. But whatever I could achieve was out of the Bihar board or the ICSC inter-council board textbooks only. It was only because I was going deep in the concepts.
Sir, my question is related to this, if you allow me. It's a very small question, and after this, I would request students to please ask the questions from sir and be ready. Either you can write or be mentally prepared. Sir, generally there is a narrative in India that Bihar board means nothing. You can pass easily by cheating. I know this happened after 90. Pre-90, there was very good study environment. When you passed out 10th, this school named ML Academy, Jila High School, Sarvodaya, these were the top schools. From everyone, like sir, like all the students, they used to go study from such Sarkari schools, and there used to be very, very good environment. Like you said, you never took any coaching classes just because of self-study. And the second, first most important thing is you come from a very humble background. You maintain very good discipline. All, family members were highly educated. That may be also the reason. But sir, today, Bihar board means, it means you have passed, like I did 10th in 2002, 12th in 2004. Till that time it was little good, 10% good. After me, it got ruined completely. The system got ruined. Now the question is, I just want to ask you, and today students have a lot of distractions as well. Parents think, like this boy was asking, because his mind has been hacked by so-called big institutes, that if you do preparation from my coaching, only then you will secure good ranks in IIT. Otherwise, you will be good for nothing. This is why he is so much worried about it. So the question is it possible to study from Hindi medium? Can we achieve the goals, the heights which you have achieved and other successful people have achieved? Or only big schools, colleges, big coaching centers can help us to achieve our goals, including the distractions which you were talking? I want you to please answer this if possible.
Very tough question. I will try to simplify my answer. One is that there is no replacement for hard work. You have to do hard work. Number two is education is what I see today is monopolized by few institutions and few brands. And thirdly also I see the distraction factor. And last but not the least, the parents have a belief is they see one or two example or they see somebody in the neighborhood कि उसका बच्चा वहाँ से कोचिंग लिया तो वो आज वहाँ है, gives them a belief that हमारा बच्चा भी वहाँ जाने से he will be admitted.
And they think कि केवल IIT और IAS बनने से ही कल्याण है,
yeah,
और कुछ करने से कल्याण।
yeah. So IIT, I mean, still after so many years, the country still feels that there are only 3 or 4 professions. If you are not an IAS, IPS, then you should be either a doctor or an engineer. Otherwise, तो कुछ बचा है नहीं. So this is very untrue, and this is absolutely untrue, and this is, I believe, puts very undue pressure on each one of you. There are students who do much better, who go to design side, non-conventional side, arts student, humanities student, chartered accountancy, banking, financial side, and so on and so forth, apart from being a doctor or an engineer or an IAS, IPS. So, but somehow we have this social pressure to be part of that 4 or 5 profession. Otherwise हमारे बच्चे पीछे छूट जाएंगे, उनकी टाइमली शादी नहीं हो पाएगी, अच्छे घर में रिश्ता नहीं हो पाएगा. This all plays in the mind. This is all part of the social compulsion. Okay. So this pressure is there, and this pressure is not going to go away for any one of us for next 30, 40, 50 years. Okay. So you have to find your way out of this pressure. The only way you can find your way out of this pressure is to be very clear that where is your strength. And if that is your strength, how you can achieve it, and for that what you have to do. What I am telling you is a very simplified version, but it's not as easy as it sounds. For example, if your father is a doctor, he would 99% he would want you to be a doctor. And if you say नहीं मुझे वो नहीं पढ़ना है, मुझे CA बनना है, then things will be very difficult, and so on for a lot of people. But a good student is the one who is not just a student in his textbook, is also able to express his desire and able to know what is my strength area, what I can do and what I cannot do. So this somehow you have to convince yourself and then convince your parents about it. Parents are well-wishers. Parents are not villains. Sometimes we feel अरे मेरे पिताजी तो पता ही नहीं है इसलिए वो ऐसा बोल रहे हैं. Parents are, I am a father of two young boys. One is 22 years, another is 26 years. Both of them are engineers. And it was not because I am an engineer, so I wanted them to be an engineer. It was purely their choice, the way it was my choice in 1985 that I would be an engineer from a family of doctors. Similarly, they made their own choices. So parents are your well-wisher. You have to convince them what you want to do and show the result by your hard work. And choose your field, be very clear, do not do that मेरा friend भी उधर जा रहा है तो मैं भी उधर चला जाऊँ. वो उसमें जाने से, yeah, if that is also your interest, fine, but if it is not your interest, just because your friend is doing that, you also should do it. I don't think you will ever be in your natural space. And when you are not in a natural space, you will not find it easy. Maybe for first few years, but after some time you will struggle. So find your natural space is my only advice to you. And work with your parents, especially your mothers. Mothers are great influencers. Generally fathers do what mothers tell them to do. At least in my house this is how it happens. Yeah. This is the most open secret of Indian society. So, and consider your parents as your well-wishers and manage your way through, because no parent would want their children to suffer. That's the least they would do. But social pressure सामने आ जाता है, वो है. So you have to find ways. Everybody will have a different formula. Sometimes your one chacha or one phupa or one mama will have lot of influence on you. He then show you the path. Sometimes your father himself, sometimes your brother himself or a sister and so on. So find that person who is having your same mind share and then try to develop and see how it goes. As far as distractions are concerned, the only way is discipline. There is no other way. I can tell you there is no other way. If I as a father, if I want to stop my children from seeing the Insta or a WhatsApp or a reel, I cannot do it. It's not possible. It is absolutely not possible. If I do it, then I will be in fool's paradise. So the only way is to tell them, boss, अभी 3 साल मेहनत पूरा करो, अच्छा से एडमिशन लो, फिर अपना लाइफ अपना बैलेंस वे में चलाओ. और रास्ता है ही नहीं. You cannot ban access to contents. You have to regulate yourself. You have to bring your self-discipline. Let's say if you want to control what she sees on her mobile phone, can you do that? You can't. But if you train her mind saying that, "Abhi पढ़ लो, जब बड़े होने."
Guys, do you have questions? I would, if you don't mind, the senior most student I would like to. Then your question. Sir, first her question, then his question, and collectively I would give this mic to you. Yeah.
Sir, in your opinion, what's life and how should we take it?
Avinash, your question please. Hi.
Very good evening, sir. My name is Avinash. Nice to meet you, sir. Sir, how was your first job experience? And I request to you share a very great moment and very bad moment in your working life. Thank you.
They are asking great questions. Yes.
You wanted to say something more.
What's life and how do you take it?
How should we take it?
Wow. Positive or negative?
Wow, so you were really stretching my thought process. So very mature, very good questions and very disciplined. I would say that life is a chain of events and you should take it step by step. Planning too far ahead is not possible and does not help. At the same time, seeing the past all the time also does not help. So you have to take life step by step as a chain of event, one leading to another. And you have to keep your vision ahead, but you have to see in the rear view mirror only to see that you are in the right path. Did you understood what I am trying to say? If your past is very, very nice, there is no guarantee your future will also be nice. If your past is very troubled, there is absolutely no guarantee your future will also be troubled. You have a chance to make a difference if you plan few steps ahead. For example, if I was your age, and if I wanted to plan to become a CEO, I would be solidly lost. I didn't know, I didn't have the right answer. But at your stage, I knew how to pass, how to prepare to pass the exams. And what were my favorite subjects, and where like for example, geography was my absolutely not favorite subject. Biology and geography I used to just not avoid, just to study to pass well so that my overall percentage is not disturbed. But I read maths and science with lot of interest. So in my life, I had a job to do was to learn geography and biology, spend lot of time on that so that I will pass and move to the next stage in a nice way. So take life as a step and keep learning from everyone.
Sir, Avinash's question was...
Yeah, I remember. I remember his question. My first job was Modi Xerox. I was in the management trainee in the manufacturing site. I learnt a lot of things in my first 4 or 5 years in the company. But the one thing which I really learnt was that how to get job done through somebody else. And this is very important in our life and our professional life as well, because you will not be able to do everything on your own. So you have to rely on your team members whom you want to deliver a part of job, but we are dealing with human beings, we are not dealing with machines that you provide input and there will be an output. You have to interact with the person, ensure that he or she understands what you're saying. My moment of joy was when I was developing a very complex PCB. All of you know PCB is printed circuit board on which electronic components are placed, like in mobile phone and so on and so forth. I was developing one PCB and it got passed in the first trial itself. And I was just about a year old after my passing out from college. I learnt, I had a very good senior with whom I would spend days and nights in the factory. And I learnt and I designed something which passed in the first attempt, which was the very source of huge joy for me as an engineer. And point of failure, there are many points of failure, many points of failure. One point of failure was that I was also given the charge to import components from Japan, and I didn't know how to import because those days it was very difficult. I did not have the wisdom to speak to my seniors who would train me and tell me what are the steps involved. I thought I will be able to do everything on my own, and in that process I wasted a lot of time and money for the company, and I felt very bad about it. But thankfully now for last, I don't know, 20 odd years, if anybody in the industry has any doubt about how to import something, I try to help them, because I learnt the hard way. I really learned the hard way.
Anybody else? I'll take all questions together right now. So you would ask very fast. Other students? You raise your hand.
Yes, sir, we both. Hello, sir. My name is Alok Kumar Sharma. I am from Madhubani district. Sir, my question: there are not famous industries in Bihar, but there are richest businessmen live in our India. So why do not they keep industries in Bihar?
Very good question. And yours?
So what type of struggle do you face in your life, and how you deal with that struggle? Because as we know that struggle is most important of anybody life.
Anybody else?
So my question is that you had said that you visit foreign country and you had learned Portuguese. So when you learn, whenever you meet those guys who don't know your language like English or Hindi, and you didn't understand any sentence or word, so how you manage? How you manage that? Any solution?
Three questions from three different angles. But
So let me start answering in the reverse order, okay, because your question is something which is a very recent one. So initially it was very tough, but then technology these days comes to your help. You open a Google Translator and you type, and then it gets translated and you start doing the conversation. Then after some time in the business meetings, sometimes I used to go with a translator who would translate what people are saying and then also translate what I am saying. So that was one. Thirdly, in the social setup like a restaurant or a shop or a Uber, taxi or somewhere, small conversations building into larger sentences and the larger meaning. First you understand one word, two words, then you start understanding the sentence, then you start understanding more than that. That's how it built up. This is a very natural process. But technology these days are huge help, and you have to use technology to overcome some of these initial challenges. Like when my wife used to visit, she does not know Portuguese, but she would manage through her mobile phone translator. But I thought that if I am going to stay here for 3 years, and if I have to deal with people, especially in the government side, who do not speak English at all, then my job will be very difficult, and therefore I must learn so that I speak their language. That was my motivation. Okay. Your question was about the struggle and how did I overcome the struggle, right? So, as a citizen from Bihar, the struggle is the day you are born. Struggle does not need an invitation for people in this part of the world. For everything, even for the small social or a small help here and there, you need to do more effort than what your counterparts in Bombay or Delhi or wherever metropolitan cities have to do. So struggling is a natural instinct for most of us. We may not realize it, but for all of us, or rather most of us, it is a natural instinct. We are always having plan B in mind. If not this, then what? If not today, then what? If I fail here, then what? And so on and so forth. So there is no straight answer that how I prepared, but I think the only way you can prepare is that you need to have some plan B, that is for sure, and two is you need to be very planned and proactive. One thing I have learned in my life is that if you are able to plan, and if you are able to be proactive, and if you respect the time, you will solve half of the issues. So please organize yourself. You know, I go to bank, वहाँ 10:15 बजे से पहले बैंक मैनेजर नहीं आता, even when the zero time is 10, right? So, but does it mean that you will also delay? Does it mean that सामने वाला delay से आ रहा है तो मैं भी delay करता हूँ? Then that will become part of your habit. Then you will be a delay master. Then you will start giving reasons that why you got delayed. Then you will start justifying it. Then it will become part of your system. I believe that one of the habits that I have, and thankfully my wife also has, is that if somebody is inviting us at their place for dinner at 8 p.m., we will generally be there at 8 p.m. Many times we are the first people बहुत पहले मैंने कई बार ऐसा हुआ सिर्फ टेंट हाउस वाले होते थे या हम होते थे. तो but that has not stopped us from being punctual. And I tell you, after so many years, people who are dealing with me or my wife or us, they know that if they have to deal with us, they have to be timely. We are making a house in Delhi, and earlier the architect used to come 3 baje te badle 3:30 baje. Now she comes 5 minutes before 3, because she knows that we will also be there before 3. So it is up to you. So if you are planning proactively, if you are respecting the time, and the time, not only your time but the time of the person in front of you, half of your problem will be solved. And then comes your mental strength, that how much pressure you can absorb. So if you are planned, if you are mentally tough, if you have a plan B, I think you have all the right ingredients to fight in this world. Yeah, and it is very situational. It is not that one formula fits everywhere. It's very situational. I hope I have given you some tips.
I have learned a lot of things.
Yeah. And to your question, why you don't see industries here in Bihar, I think it is a lot to do with us selectively, and it is a lot to do with our social, political and economic environment. What you will learn in economics and other places, SPE, what they call, socio-political and economic environment. Many states are ahead of us because they realize the power of economy much ahead. Their leaders had vision, their policies were ahead of their time, and the people were very industrious. In our part of India, I think we suffered from all the sides, and we also suffered from nature, because we are unfortunately found in a place which is highly prone to flood, earthquakes, land, population, politicians, everything. So, and that has led us to become very self-centered. We are fighting for our own betterment, but then there are not many people who are there for betterment of the society, and that is what is hurting. And first अपना पेट भरा हो तभी दूसरे का सोच सकते हैं ना. So most of the time, most of us are in that mode, and it's not helping. But believe me, I do not live here anymore, but मैं साल में 2 बार आता हूँ यहाँ पे. हर बार 2 या 3 पॉजिटिव पॉइंट लेते जाता हूँ यहाँ से. मुझे नज़र आता है कि चीज़ें पॉजिटिव हो रही हैं, मुझे नज़र आता है प्रॉब्लम भी हैं, बट मुझे पॉजिटिव भी नज़र ज़रूर आता है इसमें. और इससे मेरा विश्वास है और भरोसा है, जो यहाँ पे टाइम भले लग जाए, एफर्ट ज़्यादा पड़े, बट दिस train of development will not stop. And it's for all of us to think that way. Remain positive. It's very easy. If you see I just urge you see any channel, TV channel, most of the sensational news are negative in nature. When have you heard a sensational news which is positive? So it is for us to train our minds that I have to be away from all this. I have to see positivity. I don't have to see that who has fired how many bullets and how many accidents has happened and so on. Obviously it's all part of our society, you cannot avoid it. But then you have to be mentally more tuned to see positive and learn and take some ideas from those positives. Lot of positive things are happening here as well. Lot of it.
One last thing from my side, sir, and then it's going to be finished now. I have a story. When I was trying to write this book, it took around 2.5 years. Whenever sir comes here, to Darbhanga, I go and meet him because I have to learn a lot of things from him. I shared this idea to sir and he encouraged me a lot. He in fact said, you go ahead, I'll support you. So, when you go to the testimonials, you will see the very first name is Amitabh Prasad, BE from BIT Sindri, MBA from FMS DU, CEO Sterlite Power Vedanta Group. So, sir encouraged me a lot to write this book, and maybe you would be thinking, who is this person? His name is at very fast. So, sir's name is this. Sir, my question is, if you can tell us something about this book or about, I also come from Delhi NCR, keeping in mind that going back to Bihar, to Mithilanchal to contribute something because we work for fitness. We work to help people stay fit, yoga, fitness. Then we provide career counseling to school, college students. We help students to develop their personality. We help to build their communication skills. Although we are not very upgraded so far, but still, what do you think, keeping this book in mind, the ideas which we have in our mind, and I came from Delhi NCR here, will this, click into the mind of people of Bihar or not? If you can tell some words about this.
So first of all, this book is written in a very easy to understand language. It focuses a lot on day-to-day conversation. It touches the topics which you would perhaps touch almost on everyday basis. So when you will read this, it's not a course on grammar, it's not a course on language, it is more about conversation, it's more about how to express yourself. So I would say to that extent, this is very easy to read, and reading few times will give you a lot of ideas, but it should not stop there. Once you read, it will not etch in your mind till the time you have practiced it. So amongst yourselves or your friends or family members or wherever you have the opportunity, whatever you learn and read, you please practice, and it will make a huge difference. Sometimes people will make the fun of you saying कि बहुत इंग्लिश बोलने लगे हो भाई, हैं? अब तुमसे तो इंग्लिश में ही बात करना होगा, इस टाइप का you will hear. But then you choose the right people. You choose people who are genuinely interested in your development, and speak with them. Speak to Prakash himself. Sir, I have read this chapter and today I want to converse with you like this. Why not? And I'm sure he will find time. And so on. So do that. But this is more from the academic point of view. But as a person, first you have to convince yourself that you are not inferior or you are not having any shortcomings compared to anybody else in this society. You need to have confidence. Many times when you hear some of the best orators, they manage to say what they want to say just on the strength of their confidence. If they say the same thing with less confidence, you will not listen to them. You will feel, जब इसे ही confidence नहीं है तो मुझे क्यों सुनना है? But then you have to prepare yourself and you have to feel कि हम किसी से कम नहीं. I am no less than the others. And if anything, I am more than others. Because what I keep repeating, how much hard work you put. People in the children in metro cities and the other part of India are not put in this level of hard work. So अपने हिसाब से आप पढ़ो, समझो सब चीज़, but do not feel at any moment that you are less than anybody else. If you have that confidence, it will reflect in your personality, it will reflect in your mindset, it will hugely reflect in your learnings and knowledge, and it will make you a complete person. Reading a book or attending a lecture from people like me can only take you to some distance. Beyond that is your journey. And each one of you will have your own journey. Each one of you will have your own story to tell. After 20, 30 years, you will be sitting here and telling a completely new story. And I really want you to believe that you will be there. And there is no reason why you would not be there. If somebody like me who can dream, you guys are much more empowered to dream even bigger. Please dream, please set your goals, please set your mindset that I have to achieve this. Take life one step at a time, as a chain of events, right? And I have no doubt in mind, this is my birthplace, and I am not going to leave my birthplace till the time I am on this planet. So I will keep coming here. And after 10, 15, 20 years, when I come and meet you, I have a chance to meet you, I am sure I will be so proud, my heart will be filled with so much of pride that children in this room have made so much of difference to the society. I wish you all the best, and I pray to God that you have the strength to make it big in this world. Good luck to you, and thank you very much for listening to me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming and motivating all the students. Do you feel better? Hello. Great job. God bless you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.